The Community is a presentation of the St. Louis Community Credit Union and RareGem Productions. Power up with the positive. Learn more at OneRareGem.com. That's OneRareGem.com. Welcome to The Community.
The St. Louis Community Credit Union presents The Community, a forum for information and resources relevant to empowering our community. Consumer financial education, budgeting, credit, payday lending, community events and initiatives, health and human services, life skills. What's important to you? The Community with Dorothy Bell, Senior Vice President and Chief Marketing Officer.
Some say talk is cheap, but it can't afford to be when it comes to money and relationships. On this edition of The Community, we'll talk about the importance of budgeting for couples.
It is essential for couples to budget. I mean, this is a somber statistic, but 56% of all marriages end in divorce. 56%. And of those 56%, over 70% of those who actually file for divorce, stating personal finances as the reason.
Whether you plan to buy a house, start a family, or function as a drama-free family unit, how you manage your money can mean the difference between living a life of stress and one filled with happiness. Learn more right after this.
Now here's Make It Happen with Keith Sales Pro.
Have you ever wondered why you keep getting passed over for job promotions or management opportunities? Here are 5 tips to management. Number 1, your attitude. Your attitude will determine your altitude and how far up you will go. Number 2, your work ethic. Are you willing to work 12, 14-hour days, nights, weekends, and holidays? Number 3, your teamwork skills. Do you get along with your coworkers, management, and customers? Number 4, your leadership skills. Do you possess the ability to get people excited about an idea or plan? Can you start a project and see it through? And last, number 5, your education level. I believe the more you learn, the more you earn. Be a life learner. Today, remember, it can happen. It will happen. And together, we will make it happen.
Follow Keith Sales Pro on Facebook or Twitter at Keith Sales Pro, or visit his website at KeithSalesPro.com.
It can happen. It will happen. And together, we will make it happen.
Hi, my name is Jaison McCall, and I am the Financial Literacy and Community Outreach Specialist for St. Louis Community Credit Union and the St. Louis Community CU Foundation. We are inviting you. Every event that we offer is free, is open to the public. We are trying to make a change. We are trying to give back. Come on out on May 6th for our retirement seminar, and come on out on May 8th, 6:30 p.m. for what you need to know before you start a small business. The number is 314-385-1586. That's 314-385-1586.
Hi, this is producer Jade Harrell, and I'm so excited about how my business is growing and how much I'm learning. I can't wait to plug into the resources and opportunities that are happening at the MoCan Minority Business Symposium, happening on May 8th and May 9th at the Union Station Hotel. I know I need to be at the symposium, but here's why you do too. Companies will give you step-by-step instructions on how to do business with them. Personal time to meet company executives and decision makers that can give business specifically to you. Get acclimated to MoCan, the only organization in St. Louis whose main goal is to help companies just like yours win big contracts. And finally, we need to be at the symposium to increase our bottom line and grow our businesses. Register your business today at mocansymposium.com or call Yafet El Amin at 314-454-9675. That's 314-454-9675 for sponsorship and vendor opportunities. Let them know you heard it from RareGem. RareGem Productions proudly presenting the positive.
If we're going to tackle the big problems that face our children in our communities today, we have to have a deeper conversation. Let's go beyond the normal talk around town. Join me, Chris Kramer, for Going Beyond every week on Hallelujah 1600.
10 a.m. Wednesday morning. Information and podcast at beyondhousing.org. Welcome to the community.
Today we're having a real conversation about the importance of couples budgeting. Joining me in the studio is Jaison McCall, Financial Literacy and Community Outreach Specialist for St. Louis Community Credit Union. Jaison manages financial and life skills education initiatives for St. Louis Community Credit Union and its foundation. Jaison, welcome to the community.
Thanks for having me.
So, Jaison, why should couples really budget?
It is essential for couples to budget. I mean, this is a somber statistic, but 56% of all marriages end in divorce. 56%. And of those 56%, over 70% of those who actually file for divorce, stating personal finances as the reason.
I didn't realize it was that pervasive.
It really is. I mean, it's the foundation of everything. I mean, it could be a deal breaker. It really can. Not talking about money can be a deal breaker. You have to be open and honest about your spending, about your saving, about your plan.
So communication is definitely important. I mean, no matter how hard the conversation may be.
In any relationship, communication is key. Think about all the different types of relationships you have, whether it be, a family member, a friend, a child, a parent, whatever the case may be. It's all founded upon communication, whether it be good or bad. Relationships thrive off communications. So it should be no different when it comes to this topic of personal finance. We have to make sure that we're on the same page.
So when it comes to doing your banking or, managing your finances, I mean, do you find that more people have problems if they put their money together or if they keep it separately? What have you seen?
I mean, everybody does not have to share an account. It's not a requirement. But if we don't communicate that, we're automatically going to think that we're going to be able to do it. Although I don't deal with any transactions or anything like that, I do get to see the people. Mm-hmm. So I see Mr. and Mrs. Jones all the time, and I see Mr. Jones may slide an extra $20 in his inside coat pocket. I saw him get caught as well. So, I mean, this can be an issue. Now, I'm saying $20, but imagine if it's $2,000.
Mm-hmm. That's a big difference.
A huge difference.
That's a big difference.
So if we communicated from the very outset that, look, I like to spend, I'm a spender, then maybe we can set up something to where, okay, this is the amount of money for each pay period that you can spend. So we don't necessarily have to have the same account. It's just that we have to have the same goals and the same values.
And that's interesting that you say that, because I think it also has a lot to do with your upbringing, what you've been taught, and how you manage money. I mean, not to put my own business in the street, but my husband and I, we're going to pay our bills first. That's it, first and foremost. But after that is done, he has a different view on how that money can be spent. And I can say that could be the majority of the case for a lot of women out there. But it just depends on how you can all come together and make that agreement on how to make your money work best for you and your family.
Right. We got to have that goal, and we have to have it written down, and not just communicate it amongst the couple. If the couple actually has children, then we need to, be on the same page when it comes to that.
That's a whole different ballgame.
Right. I mean, just think about it as a company. You have a company, the family is the company. Well, the company has meetings so everybody knows what's going on. But then the parents may need to have the board meeting separately. There's a difference between allowance and commission. That's one thing I always try to tell people when it comes to talking to their children about finances. Mm-hmm. Allowance means you owe. I owe you this because it's the 15th of the month. No, I don't owe you anything. Like, if you don't show up to work, you don't get paid. So if you don't make your bed, if you don't take out the trash, if you don't, wash the car, if you don't do what you're supposed to do, then you don't get paid. See, that's commission. That's how the real world works.
That's a valuable lesson to learn, to teach some of these kids out there today, whether they're 2 or 22.
Right. We got to have those conversations. But for us to have those conversations, we all have to come to the meeting table.
And how we manage that relationship, how we manage our money, our personal upbringing, personal background, all that is important. I mean, I would even think that impulse buying would come into play too. I mean, if you think about when you come together as a couple, you're trying to buy a house, you want to make sure that everything's together for that purchase. Mm-hmm. You might see furniture that you want to buy. You might see, something you want to decorate your dining room. You want to do what you have to do to make that purchase work. But we also have to plan for when the roof leaks or anything that comes up in the house.
See, when you sit down and you have conversations, then you can get on the same page. When you know or understand how your spouse or how your partner spends money, you learn more about them. Because a lot of this stuff does start from our money memory.
That is definitely true. Tell us about that money memory and what that sounds like for our listeners who may not know.
Okay, your money memory is basically I act according to what I remember or what I was brought up around. Okay. So, for instance, if you've ever been around anybody who every time something good happened in their life, they always got something like a reward. If nothing has changed, if nothing drastic has changed their perception, they're the exact same way as adults. So they had a good day at work, it's time to go shopping. I got to go to the movies. I got a good grade. So I have to do some different things like that. I mean, that's why, and I said a good example, but if you look on, if you're having a bad day, I mean, that's depression, that's overeating.
But they'll reward that too.
Right. So we have to figure out what the balance is. I mean, if we're sad, we spend money. If we're happy, we spend money. If we're bored, we spend money. So we have to identify those different things at the meeting table and then figure out how everybody can be content.
But, the true reward can be, as my brother always told me, paying yourself first. that's a reward. You work hard for your money. You don't work for the utility companies or whomever. You work to support yourself and your family. So another reward can be putting $20 away, putting $30 away, each paycheck.
Pay yourself first is an important concept, and people talk about it all the time. I just try to take it another level. People talk about pay yourself first when it comes to personal savings, retirement. A lot of people don't want to think of faith-based or charitable giving as an expense, so they count that as pay yourself first. That's great. Mm-hmm. But additionally, actually pay yourself first. If I like to go bowling or something like that, then I need to pay myself enough money for me to go bowling so I can be content. But a huge problem that we tend to have is people say pay yourself first a lot and then forget to pay everybody else. It's like, well, I earn this. And I mean, we also earn the bills that we accrue. So it's all about decisions that we make. Typically, if you don't have your plan written down, you have a wish. It has to be written down and out in front of you. And then when you're in a family, it's not just personal finances. Now it's everybody's involved. Every decision that I make affects my family.
Now, you help a lot of people through the CU Excel Center. Can you tell our listeners a little bit about the CU Excel Center and how it helps the community?
The CU Excel Center is our destination point for financial education and life skills education. It's the one-stop shop. So not only do people come in and figure out, what's going on with their personal financial situation, we talk about a lot of different things. And the topic of family comes up a lot. And you wouldn't believe how many little nuances or things that may throw some people off comes up in these discussions. But I have families that are trying to, buy a house. And we have to go from ground zero to figure out how are we going to get everybody's credit in the way that it needs to be so we can maintain and actually afford the home that we want to afford. We got people that want to purchase cars. People want to add to their family, have family additions. They want to have children. You have all these different types of things. I have this one couple right now that I'm talking with, and they want to get married. Mm-hmm. So they're working on that, and that's an expense. Oh, I know that's an expense.
I didn't want to go there, but since you started.
Oh, goodness. Here we go. Here we go. That's an expense, and I know. There we go.
But you're right. I mean, a wedding is a huge expense. You're going through that now. I've gone through it. Everyone does things in different ways. For example, for my husband and I, a destination wedding worked best for us, for our budget and what we wanted to do because we talked about it. So, and everything works different for the people. I mean, at the end of the day, you have to do what's right for you when it comes to planning for your wedding or any type of financial situation.
Right. Everything that we experience, everything that we see, there has to be a plan with it. And that's just a conversation that, couples can have. I mean, not everybody will be able to go to a destination wedding.
Absolutely.
But then a lot of people think that destination weddings are extremely expensive. But you get to travel to the place, keep it there, let it be your honeymoon. I mean, I've had these conversations with couples versus, doing it at home, and then you have to have the wedding venue. Then you have to have the reception venue.
And then you pay by the plate.
And then you pay by the plate, and then you have your honeymoon. So it's a conversation. Mm-hmm. And it's just like, okay, let's put everything down and see what is most important to us right now. And, we never knock anybody's decisions. We don't tell anybody what to do. But when you give them options and you present things differently to them, they make different choices. I've been able to talk to people that were planning. This one gentleman actually came in and he was going to propose to his girlfriend. And we had a whole conversation, but he was telling me about everything that he spent money on and so on and so forth. And I asked him a question, and a simple question to him, and this can differ for everybody. Would it be fair for her to pay for her engagement ring?
Really?
I asked him that because, I mean, if it's a gift to her and you haven't finished paying on it by the time that you get married, then at some point she's going to have to contribute to what she's wearing on her hand. It's a conversation. So for him in that instance, he wasn't comfortable with that. But I've also talked to other people who were. Okay,
Jaison, let's talk about that. We want to have the conversation. We established that is key. Mm-hmm. So what happens when during the conversation we don't necessarily get on the same page right away? How do we navigate through that process?
Know your partner and preparation. You know that, let's just say for this particular instance, that we're going to have these meetings bi-weekly. These family meetings, we're going to get the family together bi-weekly. We know what time we're going to start them. Just have it like an appointment. When you have a one-on-one coaching session with me, if your appointment is from 2 to 3, at 3 o'clock, it's over. Whether you show up at 2 o'clock or 2:15. Same thing with the family meeting. Know your partner, meaning that if sometimes we can get a little bit emotional, especially when it comes to things that we care about, especially when it comes to finances. So maybe if we're too emotional to speak, maybe we need to write down our things before we actually come to the table so we can stick to the script. I mean, there's a lot of different ways that we can do it, but it hinges on us knowing our partner. If we don't know our partner, we cannot communicate effectively.
So, Jaison, share a few tips with our listeners on how we can budget effectively in relationships.
Start with getting your financial house in order. You are the only one who truly knows everything about your personal financial situation. Before you were couples, you were individuals. You need to individually know your situation. Know it from head to toe. Just because the bills come in the mail, if we ignore them, they're still there. We have to know. So not only that, we need to get copies of our credit reports because that holds a lot of weight. In addition to that, have savings goals. What are we saving for? If we can't agree on what we're going to save for this vacation, if we have children, we should have nothing to discuss. We're saving for college because every child that has a savings account set aside for college, 80% of those children actually are more likely to go to college. So this is all about having our plans together. Make a date to discuss your budget. Sit down, have conversations, put it on the family calendar, put it on the refrigerator so you have to see it, know that it's coming up. Plan for your milestones. This world is filled with surprises. This world is filled with surprises. However, do your best to plan accordingly. You know when something's coming up. We know when a car is about to hit that mile mark to where we need to get another one. So we can plan accordingly. Set some stuff aside. Plan for the unexpected. We need to have a financial cushion. Experts say that couples or individuals should have at least 6 months of their fixed expenses set aside in an emergency savings account. In this economy, dare I say 12 months. It'll take a while to get there, but always set something aside for when life happens. We need to know exactly what we can do. See what products are available for you. If you have, goals that you're trying to do, let's say you're trying to get a house, first-time home buyer or something like that, and you need to increase your credit or different things like that. The only product that I always discuss is the Credit Matters loan. The Credit Matters loan at St. Louis Community Credit Union is awesome because it's solely a credit builder. It's a $600 loan, but in all honesty, you're paying about $26, $27 interest annually a year. And it helps build your credit because you're paying them on time and then you're having a 12-month history as far as your credit's concerned. That's 50% of your credit score that you're affecting. 50%. So I love different things like that. What's available? A lot of people don't know about that. If we have some things we need to handle like payday loans and stuff like that, there's a payday consolidation loan.
Where can our listeners go to learn more?
You can go to the CU Excel Center, located at 95 North Oaks Plaza. We're 2 doors down from the North Oaks Bowling Alley, Lucas and Hunt Natural Bridge. That's where we're located. Come there. Come see me. Have one-on-one financial coaching, preferably 2-on-1. Because if you're in a relationship, I'm going to want to meet with you and your spouse if you're sharing financial information.
Get it all out in the open.
We have to. We have to just have it out there and figure out what we can do next. You can also go visit our website, cuexcelcenter.com, letter C, letter U, excelcenter.com. You can visit St. Louis Community Credit Union. Have those conversations. Figure out what products would help you to get to where you want to go. I'm always a resource. Call me. Shoot me an email, whatever the case may be. We're here to help.
That was great information to share as we build family legacies in our community. Thank you, Jaison.
Thank you.
The Community, a forum for information and resources relevant to empowering this community, engaging topics that could change your life. Each week at 4 p.m. on Hallelujah 1600. Learn more about the services from the St. Louis Community Credit Union, the St. Louis Community CU Foundation, the CU Excel Center, and our community partners by calling 314-534-7610, 314-534-7610, or click stlouiscommunity.com.
The St. Louis Community Credit Union presents The Community, a forum for information and resources relevant to empowering our community. What's important to you? The Community with Dorothy Bell, Senior Vice President and Chief Marketing Officer.
The Community is a presentation of the St. Louis Community Credit Union and RareGem Productions. Power up with the positive. Learn more at OneRareGem.com. That's OneRareGem.com.
Thanks again for listening. Register today for the 2014 McCall Minority Business Symposium, Bridging Rhetoric to Reality, on Thursday, May 8th and Friday, May 9th. This symposium will provide business development and partnership opportunities for small and large businesses. We will hold this event at the Union Station Hotel in downtown St. Louis. Visit McCallSymposium.com for sponsorship, registration, and event information, or call 314-454-9675. 314-454-WORK. RareGem Productions proudly presenting The Positive.